Precisely, Mr. Ron, no, don't want to lose him.
Hiding.
No, we can already know, huh?
Yeah, we should have one more participant. Javier asked if he could join the meeting because, well, as you know, he just joined, and the idea is that in the future he may work with your schools on pedagogy. So he thought it would be interesting for him to attend as an observer. Is that okay for all of you? Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that we are going to discuss anything top secret, but yeah, just to make sure that everyone is okay with that.
Thank you.
I didn't know if you were there or not because the camera is still turned off. Brother Martin, are you there as well? Maybe I can start my introduction, and I'm sure that Brother Martin will join us in a few seconds. Welcome everyone to the national meeting for Cambodian members. So this is the very last session of the day, and I hope that you had a great time with us so far. I know that you may be a little tired after these 2 busy days. So to end the day in a relaxed atmosphere, let's have this session in a tea break style. So I hope that you brought a mug with some tea or coffee, or else, personally, I have mine. It's milk tea. So please really make yourself comfortable. We are all friends here. Well, many of you are even neighbors. So yeah, let's really have a relaxed meeting. But getting to the objective of this session, as you probably know it, ASSET-H&C aims to encourage collaborations between members at different levels, regional, national, and local. And this tradition of having national meeting was initiated during the seminar in Siem Reap in 2017 and comes from the observation that some topics are more relevant to discuss at national level. So this session is meant to be your session. This is the reason why you all have been invited to define its agenda by answering the pre-seminar survey. And more specifically, the agenda is based on your answers to 2 questions. The first one was if you could ask other ASSET-H&C members only 1 question to help you improve your own activities, what would it be? And the second was, what are the 3 main challenges related to COVID-19 that you expect to face next year? So thank you for having provided feedback that allowed us to establish the following list of topics that we will discuss today. We will do our best to at least cover the 4 first items, and we will address the last one only if time allows. And of course, if you wish so, we can always organize an extra session later. But now let's start with the first topic, which relates to student recruitment. So this item appears first in the list because student recruitment seems to be a pressing issue and was mentioned by most members as one of the key challenges created by COVID-19. Therefore, I would like to ask if you could share about how your school is dealing with the situation in that regard. And on the slide, you can see I've prepared some questions, but they are just there as guiding thread. If you find them useful, please use them. But otherwise, if you want to comment on anything else related to student recruitment, please go ahead. So now I need a brave volunteer who will start sharing about how your school is dealing with school recruitment. Well, for the next intake or potentially with the previous one.
I can maybe start, yeah.
Sure.
We had definitely a hard time to recruit students for this intake. So they started in September. The recruitment process usually takes between 2 and 3 months. This year was a bit longer. Social workers couldn't really go to visit the family because of the lockdown, and this is for us. This is an important, part of the selection. So it was done online. Students, I mean, they were all called one after each other. We could see definitely we usually have between 400 and 500 people who request to join the school. We hardly had 120, this year. So it decreased, let's say, by a third. We can see hospitality is not a dream job anymore, or less, than before. Salaries as well, don't follow. We find out, for example, I think in Cambodia, people working in construction sites actually have a better salary than people working in hotel and restaurants who have to work during nighttime, Saturday, Sunday, public holidays, etc. So yeah, that's what that was a difficult recruitment, definitely for us.
Do other schools share the same feeling?
Yes, indeed. I would have the same experience as Renaud. We had our first, actually, we normally conduct just two schedules for student recruitment, but we have to create another third schedule just to be able to have the number of students that actually we require. And ever since though in PSE, we really are having difficulty in the housekeeping students, because culturally we know that students are not really happy cleaning. So in this area, we are really trying to look for ways on how we could really get to have more students in housekeeping. In the food production, it's still okay. We still get a good number. And actually, this coming first week of December, we are going to conduct the last student recruitment, just to be able to fill more students in the housekeeping, and even the food and beverage service were affected by the impact of the pandemic. So what we really would like to see if the students will have the interest, because from the first and the second interview that we conducted in the student recruitment, the English language especially, and the level of interest of the students really is totally different as in the previous intake.
Oh, that's surprising, because you could imagine that if there are less people, those who apply really want to work in tourism, but even it's not even the case.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe Mr. Shamrong, because I know that your recruitment campaign has been quite successful.
Yes.
Do you agree with others, or in your case is it different?
Sorry, Sophie.
So I know that you had 70 applicants for 15 seats. So I think that your recent recruitment campaign was quite okay. So do you agree with what the other schools shared, or do you think that in the case of your own school, things are a little bit better? And maybe because you are not necessarily a tourism school, but more a bakery school, which is less associated to everything that happened in COVID-19?
Yes. Okay, thank you, Sophie. Okay, back to Bayon. Okay, for the student recruitment, like you say, in these situations, most of the school, they find out something hard to recruit, to find the students, especially they go to promote, and they can they go to the student house, the student area, okay, that live not just only in Siem Reap, but the other provinces. Okay, for Bayon, we are success now for recruiting with the students. Okay, we use like that, normally we go to promote, we go to promote by the school, mean that we go to the school and we promote something like before COVID-19. Okay, we go to we promote and we share something information about the school. Okay, but this year a big difference. Okay, because of COVID-19, also like we just promote by the online. Okay, and we tell the information, or we to the school that the school gather tell the students to join the online promoting promotion, something like that. Okay, and now we have we can say we create the online applications. Okay, that is easy for to give for the applicants. Okay, who can list, who can enroll this scholarship. Okay, now we have the big success that we can find 60 or 70 applicants who applied. Okay, for Bayon Pastry School. The NIC intake this intake 7, but the NIC intake in 2022 is intake 8. Okay, so we got 71 applicants, but we just only choose 15 of students. Okay, and we have now social worker, they have a plan to go to the student house, student homes. Okay, and to see and to interview something about her criteria, about the house, something like that, about the criteria. Okay, but I don't want to tell you about the criteria. Okay, and they will be a process. They will be processed in the end of this month. Okay, in the end of this month, and okay, and the promotion. Okay, and we will to choose them for the next intake. So we will start in the 1st of July for next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe, well, and this is actually something that was mentioned during the national meeting for Vietnamese member. They were saying that actually the paradox is that there are less and less people who are interested in working in tourism, but at the same time, there are more and more people who are getting vulnerable because of the crisis. So somehow we could imagine that because there are more people who are living in difficult situation, there should be more people interested in, well, the kind of training that we are offering. But apparently, it's still not the case. And do you want to react on that, or do you feel that it's the same?
So, sorry, Sophie, I can catch your question.
This question is actually for all the members. So someone in the previous meeting that we had with Vietnamese member was saying the thing is we could expect that there would be more applicants because there are more and more people who are vulnerable and who lost their jobs and who are now living in poverty because of COVID-19. But despite that, really, it's still difficult to convince people to work in the tourism industry. Is it something that you observe as well in Cambodia? Do you feel that more people are under the poverty line? And how are these people actually surviving? Do they study, or they actually can't even afford to study? What is the situation?
I think yes. Because according to our experience, when we recruit only 10 students to our school, so the application is just only 1 week, we got 40 applicants. coming, and then we want to support them more than 10, but we could not afford. And then the student that we recruit, and they are drop out schools in last year, and then they drop schools in grade 6, and then they just work at like domestic work at in the city in Phnom Penh, and they access to us, and then want to continue the job. The important thing it is how can we reach them? Because what we can do just only 1 week to recruit 10 students in the right category is about one, we have to priority about the student. The student that we select, it give them priority from student that drop out school, the student that graduate last year and then do nothing. What we would like to support them. And the second one, what we do, we reach out our partners that we used to work with them. For example, local community, and I work a lot with USAID Green Prelong community that they work at the ecotourism base in the community. So they have many young adults, they need more job. So this is also really thing that we can think about. And the 10 students that we recruit, and the first arriving, we concerned they might drop. They might drop after we recruit, but the day that arrive, so 10 students arrive, and everyone come. It's a very great for Spoon Cambodia. But in the beginning, I feel very concerned because I learned that some students might agree with us to join, but finally they don't come. They don't show up during the day that we promised with them. And but I find fortunately our 10 students, they are committed to come, so everyone here. And one more thing, we work with the livelihood programs. So livelihood program under provincial hall, they select students who come from very poor level around in Siem Reap. So this is a very short course program that they recruit and submit all those students to Spoon Cambodia to provide them very short course, because they stop. They think that the demand of the hospitality market is dead, so that's why they want to have 1 year program with us. But what I can do, we can try to bring the small project. It's not like 1 year program. It's just very specific, like coffee training for 4 months or cook for 6 months for them. Very specific skill, because they believe that this short and then they can find job in the end of the program. So this is what we can do with the partners and what we can do with the local people. So I think recruitment is still very very challenge also. For example, many especially school who have many recruitment for many students. So I know it is still challenge, but what we can do, we have to reach out to community people, and especially local people around Cambodian provinces, and reach out the people that they need this vocational training. I believe now everyone started to thinking about vocational training. It might be the thing about hospitality is not good at the moment, but it's not forever. It might next year it's going to be better. But how we communicate to them, and make sure that they understand and how it's important for them in the future. So this is what we can consider in the next year to do with them.
Thank you, Sapani. Well, I think that's actually it's a good conclusion for this topic, unless someone else would like to add something on that subject. But otherwise, we will move to the next topic. So,
Sophie.
Yes.
Yeah, I would like to share something. Considering in our here in Sihanouk, we find difficult for few at least for few years. We less the number of applicants here, either from for the technical or from the hotel school. Not find what the main reason. Because many people told because here the Chinese coming here, That's one of the reason. But they mainly they drop from the school and they go to work in the factory or a casino. And for our and the cost to live in Sihanouk is a high cost also. Yeah, we really find hard to find those students who need help, and in our school, yeah, this year, we just we try to contact with the high school around the Sihanouk and the province nearby to contact so they can help us to find those who need help for young people, those who are interested with the technical and with the hotel school. They can apply to our school. One of the since the beginning for the hotel school with the hotel school, where less people to enroll for the hotel school instead of the technical, because when the student they come here, they apply like more in for technical, and for hotel they very a small number. And in the previous year, some they apply for the technical, and they are because the big number they cannot we limit the number. So the second option, we give them chance to study in the hotel. That's which is considered the previous year, and now before before COVID 1 or 2 years, and even during the COVID, we less the number the applicant to our school. Yeah, I don't know if I made the for the year in our school we still training for 2 years. I don't know that it can be the long training. That's the reason, but they don't want to study for long like that. Can I hear from another school the training?
Yes, because the students who are working in casino, what are they doing? They are doing hospitality jobs there. Am I correct?
Not really in the casino. There, of course, there. If those who work in the hotel for the rooms like the department, those casino they to serve in for they play card.
Oh, okay. So they are okay. I thought that they would be involved in service and so on, but apparently not. So yeah, well, it's true that Sihanoukville is a specific case, and yeah, well, we discuss every quarter, so I know that that's something that you've been complaining about, that the fact that the tourism industry in Sihanoukville is not so much appealing for your students, and well, that's unfortunate.
One thing here we can open because we look for those who need help. If another the school you have the applicant, you can recommend them to us. But here we know the situation that they are very costly to live outside. So we have boarding to accept the student. They can stay in boarding and study with us. So if for the Moscow we open, if another school you have more applicant, you find they really love for hospitality, you can recommend them to us.
Sophie, can I have quickly share my thought for Mr. Bro Martin?
Sure.
Because I have heard you mention, Mr. Bro Martin, that your curriculum or your training course would last 2 academic years. And that exactly the reason that you don't earn much of the interest of the applicants, because those who, like Ms. Supani mentioned earlier, that those who wish to look for the immediate skill so that they can get into the industry and earn the income quickly, they do not wish to join any training which lasts more than, somewhere around 24 months. In this case, my suggestion is that, Mr. Pro Martin, you have to look into your curriculum. Perhaps you modify it 50%, meaning that you reduce the number of the theory, and you provide a little bit more session to the practical part, and you shorten your program to only around 10 months or 8 months. For example, like from Portable School, we are applying the ASEAN produced curriculum, supposedly to be 24 months, exactly like yours. But we produced, modified to only 10 months. That include around 2 months the internship. So in total, the students are learning only around 8 months. So this the strong point, the strength of Portable School as well, that we kind of have more possibility to attract the interest from the candidates, because they want to study quick, get the certificate and go to work and get the money. That's the point. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
I completely agree with teachers. Yes, I think so, because like we changed a lot. We really want to change our program into 24 months last year, but we just during pandemic, we recognize that it's not going to work well with us, because people need job to survive. So this is that we have to know about their need right now. So this is we change our program. We have two options. We have a small group of 1 year program, but we increase more a group outside core program like 4 months and 6 months to someone that they're very interested to have job quickly. And our program we change, we before we have like 60% practice and 40 theory, but now we do only 20% for theory and practice 80%. We can make sure that they finish with have enough capacity to do their skills. So this is what we find out currently.
Yeah, that's right, brother.
Thank you very much for this comment. As time is
Okay.
go ahead, Christine. Go ahead.
Yeah, because that is actually also our plan for the new academic year for the housekeeping, to have more students. So as of the moment, we have the 2 years, and it's really difficult. So we're kind of thinking of a different learning pathway for housekeeping. So making it like a short course instead, and then we can think of like a ladderized course, like for any student in housekeeping who would like to take up to C3 level on the supervisory level. So we can still create that. So in case they want to have a short course, get a job, and then think that they want to become supervisors or managers, they can just get continue with the remaining courses for C3. So that will open more career opportunities or career advancement for them likewise. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine.
Yeah,
I
thanks.
suggest that we move to the next topic. Is that okay for everyone? Apparently, yes. So the next topic is distance learning. And for this one, 2 members, PAC and Don Bosco, have questions that they would like to share with the other schools. So maybe Christine and then Brother Martin, can you share the question that you have and that you would like to submit to other members? And maybe, well, ladies first. Let's start with Christine.
Thank you, Sophie. So basically, the distance learning is really quite new, not only to our students, but also to our teachers. So for a distance learning to really be effective and successful, both the stakeholders, the teachers and the students should really have a good idea and perhaps knowledge in how to keep the students engaged. So it's been a year now that we have been experimenting our distance learning platforms. We don't really have an LMS yet. So we are just using the Google Meet, the Messenger, and the Telegram as our means in the distance learning. But still, we are trying to assess how far are these really effective, because we still want to keep the distance learning integrated, even if we keep face to face, because we never know what will happen because the pandemic is still not over. So we want to be better prepared, be more improved in our distance learning. So perhaps any of you could share how the LMS is effective for you, what kind of other tools that could keep our students engaged. We have some funny stories in the distance learning, like for example, our teachers give us feedback that some students are online, but they are actually in the market, you know, and all of a sudden the teacher said like, oh, why are you not responding? And they will say like, sorry teacher, I still have to buy, you know, vegetable, you know, do errand for my mother, and then okay, I will get back in a few minutes, so something like that. So we really don't want it to be like this. So yeah.
So I know it's not an easy question, but who would like to react on that?
Maybe me again. In regard to this, what Ms. Christine mentioned, that's exactly true. In terms of the platform which you are preparing to deliver online learning for the student, of course it helps as well. But it really something to do with finance in terms of acquiring the LMS, the right template. If you are able to, if your teaching staff have enough literacy in technology and digital, you can produce the video, you can create a lot of animation, something that is a little bit fun on the platform. For sure, it will have a bit of engaging the student. But from my experience, scheduling is very important also. So say in the physical classroom, you used to provide a session of 2 hours to the teacher to deliver their topics. But when it comes to remotely, perhaps you reduce to 1 hour for, let's say, the housekeeping theory for housekeeping. And the next hour you give to the computer teacher. And the third hour you give to the language teacher, for example. This way doesn't create, you know, a boring session to the student. Like example now, if we sit listening to Miss Sophie for more than 15 minutes, we will get bored. We lose concentration on absorbing the information already. So to our experience, this is another good strategy to kind of keep them engaged. And one quick thing, compromising. We need to compromise a bit. Like you said, that is still in the market. It happened to us also. Our director saw our student in a coffee shop and during the online learning, but we do not compromise the quality. So we know that, okay, wherever you are, but kind of make sure you're online and you get the lessons. But when the assessment comes, you have to be competent. So yeah, that's from my experience. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Sir Sati.
I think that's also one of the main learning from the TOT that we are that some of us are doing on digital learning. 1 hour face-to-face class is not the same as 1 hour on Zoom, and it's much more tiring to have 1 hour on Zoom and the main recommendation that we get from training is to really try to replace as much as possible lifetime by activities which are student-centered and that allow students to learn by themselves and really not to spend too much time on Zoom. I think that you agree with me, Mr. Soti, because you are also following the training.
Yeah, in Salabai, if I can add something as well, we did, I mean, to keep distance learning, still exciting as well. We asked the students actually to play games together as well, and that's something which works quite well. So to do some exercise together. So even if they were not at the same place, but it was pushing them to stay in touch with the school, to stay in touch together as well. And we had some good results. And as Soti say, I totally agree with him. Maybe shorter a little bit your lesson and mix. Okay, 1 hour English, 1 hour theory, 1 hour practical. I know the practical was very difficult. I think you had the same issue as we. But yeah, we did give them some little exercise as well and say, okay, let's make a cake. Up to you. But show us, okay, show us what sort of cake to make, and yeah, we had some really good results. And as well, keeping the social team. I'm sure you have a social team as well, but I ask quite a lot of job to my social team. To say, please, call them once a week, see what sort of issues they have. Try to follow. Why were you were not there on Tuesday? What's happened, and etc., etc.
Thank you, Renaud. Maybe let's move to the question of Don Bosco, which is more about how to improve the skills of teachers and trainers to develop online training. And maybe Brother Martin, do you want to say anything else, or did I summarize correctly your question? It seems that Brother Martin has an issue, but let's continue the discussion. So the question from Don Bosco is, how do you improve the capacities of your teachers and trainer to deliver online training? Who would like to share their experience?
Okay. I think this one the question I put here to get experience from can be from another school for to improve the teacher trainer capacity. This one we not get much as a successful for either for the teacher or the student for distance learning, because we also find difficult like another school share, because some of the teacher also they are addict with the phone also. You see some of the time for teaching, some online teaching, but they use another task. And the student we found when they are in the at home for distance learning, most they are not focused on the class. We understand for our school we put more on practical, and so the practical then that's one. And for when the school later on when they not success in much in distance learning, we decide to call all the students back to the school, and they stay inside the school for the short for 2 months, and later on 3 months. So they are focused on a practice. When they stay with us in the school, they are more focused. And one mistake when we in the school, we allow them to use the phone. If we see, we thought of course we still use both in the school. We also there the Google Class. So at least they allow them to access, and when they submit the lesson, we put there, and also we have the class the face to face. If we see any when the break time or lunch time or evening, oh, they are very we can see 70% they are big. But we thought they are learning, but they are another Facebook or another in the use phone. And the time to join together, like in the boarding or the school, they must not join activity, because usually in the break time they can group, they share, talk, or they play sport. But they hide themselves and with their own phone. We see that, and we check the student, they're learning. When they in at home, they not learn much. I don't know what is the strategy we can increase. In now that we decide to stop distance learning, we call before they come to school, we let them the quarantine at least for a week, and we make sure they are all good and healthy, and then we start the school. They stay inside the school, not go out or go home. When they go out or go home, they have to get permission. If they go home the weekend, and they when they return to the school, they have to get the rapid test and make sure before enter the boarding. When we do like this, we see the student maybe learn more. And
I think that's a very interesting point. On the one hand, we want students to be connected and to use their phones and tablets as much as possible, because we are all talking about blended learning. But on the other hand, actually, it can be somehow counterproductive, and we will probably have to face, dilemmas, and probably have to readjust the rules regarding the use of the phone. I mean, we have pushed them to use their phone for 9 months, and then suddenly are we going to say, well, now you cannot use your phone at school? Have you already anticipated that? The other schools that are going to get their student back very soon? Not yet.
We have the same problem. We were talking about it with all teachers and saying, okay, how can we, how can we deal with the phone problem? We don't know yet, to be honest. We will fix it, tomorrow when we open the school.
Yeah. I see that Mr. Shamrong is raising his hand. Go ahead, Mr. Shamrong.
All right. Yes. Back to Bayon Pastry School. We also did the same as the other school do. Okay. But in this, for my part, for my school, we also use like the other platforms, that the new feature that can to attract or to help students learn more. Okay, as my school, I use I tried many kinds of apps or applications. Okay, but it doesn't fit to the students. As my students, they are not in the city, not in the town, but they stay outside the city as town. So the internet signal or the internet connection is a bit slow. Okay, so that's why I use the simple thing, or like a simple apps or application to let them to practice by their own, or sometimes I can send the link of new website for them to practice in order to let them to know more about the technology, or about the how to improve the something new in these generations. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I see that Renaud is writing in the chat box that Tipsy is very interesting because there are a lot of content and activities that are useful actually for the training of students. Thank you very much. Is there anything else that you would like to share on the topic of distance learning?
A little bit, just would like to like stay engaged with the students. So I used to be a student, and in the same time that I also in charge to be trained to the students. So I feel when I was student, what I expected, so the topic is more interesting. So each topic is interesting, and the trainer it have more capacity, and their word is very clear, and the sentence is so critical sentence and make them sing. So that's why we stay on longer. And one more thing is the student. Sorry. Sorry. One more thing, when teacher call us all the time, so we feel we cannot go away from the mood and from the front of the voice of teacher. Sometimes we call, hey, Sapani, where are you? So that's why I had to be careful with those teachers that always call the name and ask the question to me. So this is I were a student. So like Podopru they did it very great. So teacher call all the time, so I cannot away from the computer and from phone at all. So this is this stay connection. So I think it's we want our students to keep in touch and always active. So we have like ask them many times to make sure they understand, and then stay call the name and just to make sure they are here with us.
Thank you, Supani. Is there anything else that anyone wants to add?
For one thing, I experienced this time because I enter the view of teaching. So I teach the student. Really, I was in to let them to maximize their time to stay with us. So like I teach English speech for the student, and like the same I use the Google Classroom, and on the physical class so I put there the post the in the Google Classroom. I add the activity and the timetable, the program for all subject there. So like at least every day or every 2 days, I have the for them to research something for them to do. So the next day when they come to the class, they have to present that. When I do like this, the student they have more focus because they have something to do after the class immediately. Either they have to submit the assignment, or they will present their research. When the next day, when the class they come to present, also if there's no activity, I will give the quiz. So most of them they focus, and in the class, I will call their name. Very important, call their name, and yeah, that's the I see the one when I this time I enter the end of teaching the student, I get experience. I know each of the student and give assignment and for follow up their study. When they have to spend more time either to make activity and upload the activity and give have to check the quiz. The teacher we have to spend more time. I see the student day by day they improve when they stay with us only 2 months. They improve a lot more than they are at home 8 months. I use both the physical and also the distant learning. So they have to work more.
Yeah, I think that we all agree that blended learning is probably one of the most effective way. So having students at school, but having them do some of the activities online is probably the most effective way to teach them. Unfortunately, it's not been possible for many of us, but again, well, we received some good news this morning, so hopefully things will improve very soon. Shall we move to the next topic, which is about internship and job placement? I think so.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So there for regarding internship and job placement, Bayonne Pastry School had a question for other members. So the question actually does not come from Shamrong. It was coming from Tort, who was wondering how other schools foster a long-term career in students, and how do they prevent students from changing job, job too often. So do your students when they graduate change job very often? And if it's the case, do you do something to prevent that?
Hello, Sophie. Do you hear
Yes.
me?
Yes.
So nowadays, our students they finished this vocational training, and they got the skills in pastry and bakery. In this situation, most other school that they finished, they have, okay, we can say most of the hotels or the shops, they were closed. So that's why some students, they need to find some some income to support their family. So that's why they see, or they see the new opportunity for their income, like they go to work in some place that different from not the same as his skill.
We lost. Okay. Apparently there is a problem, a connection problem with Mr. Shamron. He's still in the meeting, but we cannot hear him anymore. Well, actually, the question, and again, it was coming from Tort, who is a colleague of Mr. Shamron. He was explaining that actually they realized that the trainees that graduate from Bayonne Pastry School, they tend to change job quite often, and not only they change job in the industry, but they also change the industry quite often. And actually they were a little bit questioned by some of their donors, saying, well, if you train people to work as a baker, and then they work as a baker for 1 year and then they move to something else, what is the impact of the training? Of course, it's not the case for all the students, but yes, he was a little bit wondering, how do you really create a hospitality career mind in your students?
Yeah, I have the answer. This one really we experience with our student here. They change the job after their internship, after a month or 2 months. The company, they feedback to us that thing. If for us the school, now we try in the first, at least the first 2 months or 2 months, but since they are still we study a general subject. Of course, before they enter the school, we also interview and to guide them that they we guide them to choose or to apply for the course they love, or they are love, or they are capable for that course. And because we know here the very strength for the student, in here in Cambodia. Sometimes they insist in the course they want to study, but after few weeks, I don't know, because of the less of the students study this course, or affect from the family or the friend, they suddenly change. Some they want to change another course, and some if we don't change for them, they may not interest to study. They may continue study but lose their motivation. Or some, but if they are able to look for another school, or they stop, they may drop their training.
So what
here for the first the solution, we try to when they interview them before in the school, we guide them, and when they start for the first 2 months still in the general subject, we will guide them, let them they can change the section, and of course the long for the, because we prepare for them the seminar for we ask them when at least before they go for internship, you don't change when you find difficult, the challenge or the difficult will come. That's the challenge for you. You have to work to be faithful in the company at least for a year or 2 years, and you may find well. Don't just change because of the money or of the some conflict with the staff there, and then you change, because this one you spend for 1 or 2 years to study. It's your skill, your area. You have to try your best. That's we always the spirit that we encourage and explain for them to be at least faithful in your their skill, and with the company. Don't just come to work and for few months and leave the company. Not nice. But the company, they will train you, and after train and you jump to another company, is not the good attitude. If we really put more in the moral for their attitude of working and
yeah, maybe just to clarify, because I'm not sure it's clear for all the members. So Don Bosco School, it's a hospitality school, but they also have other kind of training. You do electricity, administration, automotive maintenance, and so on. So clearly, well, the setup of the school allows to have these general classes at the beginning, and then try to give some orientation to the student afterwards, which may be a little bit more difficult for schools that only focus on hospitality. But yeah, clearly in your case, I think it makes a lot of sense, and yeah, it's really about orientation. But I see that Mr. Soti raised his hand, so I will let him continue and add some more comments.
Thank you, Ms. Sophie. If I may, because this is interesting topic that I would love to share experience from our part. To Mr. Chomrong question, during the pandemic, nothing we can do about it. Most of our portable students, they move to real estate companies, banking, and so on. So in this specific circumstance, nothing we can do about it. They will need to change their professions and the industry in order to survive for this time. But generally speaking, more than 3,500 students of our portable school, according to our survey that I informed you earlier during my presentation, 75% of them are still pursuing their career or in the industry, in hospitality industry. This considered to be successful, perhaps something to do with the process that we are accommodating this, starting from the orientation. So this is what we do. You may want to hear and also try to do the same in my works. So we normally have the orientation during what we call it the open house day. So we orientate the student, not only, before that we call it the high school visit. We go to visit our targeted candidate the grade 12 student in the high school, we explain them clearly what are the career paths, what are the career paths of each of the 5 programs in our school, and then invite them over for what is so-called open house day. Then again, myself, I will do 15 minutes orientation on the specific, in detail, in the specific of each program, and then let them see, the real demonstration of the cookery program, patisserie, for example. Let them see what exactly they will be learning or doing during the next 10 months in the school. And also, again, during the admission test, during the interview, and that we assess them, aside from the language, the English, then we have what we call it the motivation interview. We ask in Khmer language exactly to find out what are their motivation, why you are choosing this specific program, because your parent recommended, or you just come along with your friends, or because your passion, your natural passion, you want to join this program. It helps also. And then during the academic year, we arrange what we call it the career workshop, meaning that our trainer, like myself and our director and our trainers, explain them how to prepare yourself for a successful career path in the industry, starting from applying the applications, and also how many months to stay in that specific job in order to add more credibility into your curriculum later. You cannot just go for 3 months and somebody else give you $25 about your current pay and then you move. That's just the example. So we go into that, and then we have the career fair day where we invite our partner from the industry to meet them, meaning that they set the table and let the student walk in person to meet our industrial partner, submit the curriculum, and ask questions and let them explain. If you go to work in Soka Hotel in Siem Reap, ask the front desk, what will be the daily task be like, and what are the expected income, blah, blah, blah. And then also we invite the industrial guest speaker during the academic year to provide the experience, why he or she is successful in this area, because they have to commit to their work for the first job for at least 3 years, and then they looking for the improvement in other venue, meaning that they see a vacant position announced and the better salary, better incentive, then they can move. But we are not encouraging our students to move the first job earlier than 2 or 3 years. So I think this helps. So I would like to share this to you all. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Soti. Is there anything else that you want to add, or shall we move to the next topic? I know that we are already a little bit behind schedule. And I would like to, have the opportunity to ask all the questions that were shared by members. So if you don't mind, we are going to go to the next topic, which is capacity building. And we have a question from Mr. Soti. So maybe Mr. Soti, I can let you share it with the other members.
Oh, yeah, I wonder if some of our friends here have a better ways to, or any activity in regard to the student exchange program that you've been implementing, or you're partnering with outsiders, in this case, outside from Cambodia, or within the country, and how did you benefit to the school from that activity? Yeah, if you have one, you may share. Yeah.
I think, well, according to my knowledge, there are at least 2 schools that should be able to answer that question.
Yes, Sarabai is having a partnership with, like you have actually, I think in the world with with a Swiss school, but we have a partnership with a French hospitality school in La Rochelle, and we have been doing already free exchange. So the teachers actually from France are coming every year, so free teachers and free students, free of the students as well come. They stay 2 weeks at the school, and to be honest, it works really well. This is a very good thing to do. Students are happy. It brings a kind of new energy, new concept. Before they come, I check with every teacher, what do you want? What do you need? What are your needs, etc. So they come already with a plan, with a full plan, which we can talk. We actually are talking before, before the venue. Okay, we talk and we make the action plan, and it gives really good energy. I will say this is really what it brings. Teachers are happy because we take care of them. Students are really happy to exchange, and then this is a real exchange. Instead, that's not friends coming to show us. This is as well friends coming to show us, but friends is coming as well to learn from us. So it gives the students, kind of, they are proud as well to share their recipes, to share their culture, to share, all this. So this is something. If you can, I know you have already, something. I think, and we're gonna do, thanks to ASSET again, something similar online for the moment with Apprenti d'Auteuil. But I think that's good to have regular people coming from outside, even from Cambodia actually. But people coming from the industry to share their knowledge, to share their experience.
I had something also for a exchange program. So currently, Spoon Cambodia, we are working with Holland's organization called Chikaras. They are Dutch student university. They're going to have exchange program very regularly. It starts from February. They come 6 students every 4 months. After that, they swap each other. So this is going to happen in the next year in February. If it have anything happens with COVID pandemic or restriction again, so they plan to come. And this is also good. They are come from sustainability university. It's very good for us to bring more resource regarding to hospitality or sustainability in tourism and hospitality. So those is the kind of we can work together. And they might have they don't have specific volunteer yet, but they're looking for something to do in the developing countries. So I'm going to discuss with Chikara again. So when they come specific time, and then their teacher, professor, they will come this November very soon, and then we're going to catch up and see how we can work together. And I believe that we can share each other with those volunteers. At least they have very good English. So we can find something with the English or exchange program. They learn from each other about university lifestyle in the Western or something with the culture, and then we just let our students learn. So yes, so we can share this more.
Sopani, if I may ask, I remember that in the past, Egbok had a very strong relationship with Cornell University. How did you benefit from that relationship?
It's good to make our business at the restaurant, so we can charge for their coming to visit us with the food, dinner, and then we make party for them. This is one thing. And another thing, we allow our students to have opportunity to talk with those university students, and then learn more about their culture, and then they also learn more about our culture, and students have ability to show what they have actually. So we can exchange, like for example, like we prepare like something very special for those university students, like it's spider, something warm to make them feel very afraid, at the same time very exciting with the same time. So those things is we try to escort them there.
So it was students that they were sending.
Yeah,
because like EHL that is working with Jibril, Cornell University is very renowned for, both of them are very renowned for hospitality, but also for research. So I was wondering if this was something that was explored, maybe having some of their researcher, but only students for the moment. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they come very short time, just a half day. So this is we cannot do much. But the recently university student we come for 4 months, so I believe that we can do something better.
Yeah, clearly.
Mm.
Okay, is there anyone else who would like to add and answer Mr. Soti's question?
In term, yes, maybe in terms of benefits as well. I mean, I forget to mention, but this is something to mention. Most of the time when they come, so when those people coming from outside, come, we end up with a kind of gala dinner or something. So this is another income for the school, and for example, I mean, the partnership we have with La Rochelle, they organize as well in France one gala dinner for us. So this is as well a source of funding, which is not, which is good to take as well.
Thank you, Rono. Thank you, Supani. Thank you.
Okay, shall we then close the session, or is there anyone else that would like to add one more point?
Do you want to move forward together to have a meeting with, especially for among our Siem Reap members? Do you have any action plan from now, or just talk later? What do you think about all?
I think that's something that used to happen in the past. I think that in the past, members from Siem Reap would meet once a month or once every 2 months. I guess that COVID-19 did not help, but well, I think that members who used to join these meetings found them interesting. But then it's up to you.
One thing, may I get this chance because you own the school in Siem Reap and PSR in Phnom Penh. Because for our school, we support the young people and the poor. So if you have any candidates, they contact with you, but you are not able to accept them, you can recommend them to us. Because we plan that those who finish high school, grade 12, they will study for 2-year course. They will get associate degree. So after that, they can continue the university. But those who are not finished, they drop from the school. We give them the training. We see how they can catch up. Can be 1 year or 1 year and a half. And if you have either from the technical, they love or technical or from from hotel hospitality. Because from us we have front office, housekeeping, food and beverage, and culinary. So you can recommend them because most of you from another province, from Siem Reap. And for us here, now that we only must contact with the Sihanouk and the Kokom province.
Sure, Martin. So what I do recently, so some of the students, they are very interested for different work, the training that if we don't have offer, so we always hand over to our school, but it's almost in Siem Reap what we think first. But very good you mentioned about it in the future, yes, but just let us know when it exactly start, and then the criteria, maybe we can send by email, or we can create the Telegram groups or WhatsApp group together at the vocational training school network. And then we can drop any school that they started to recruit the students, so we drop our information to those group, and then we can help each other. I would say that we have Spoon, even though we just started, but we have many connections at the reach also area, Ratanakiri, Mandulkiri, Stang Train, Krajes, and Bravihi and Kampung Thom, that we reach out so many community people, especially ecotourism based community that we know, and then we really want to support those community. That this is that we can speed up, because we know main contact of them achieve our community, so this we can send them with those information.
I think that it's a very good idea to have a group for Cambodian members of ASSET-H&C, because as mentioned earlier, I think that the members from Siem Reap, they tend to meet quite regularly because it's easy. But there are 2 other members that are not in the same city, but that could probably benefit. And well, now with the 2 years that we have spent, there is no excuse to not involve them, because you can still be in touch with them with Zoom, with Teams, with WhatsApp, and so on. But I think that, yeah, it would be a very good first step to have a group for the Cambodian members.
Yes, so welcome to Spoon Cafe, because we are open and the road
Okay.
construction is
We'll go
almost
one day
finished, you
soon.
know. So now we have new road. So we go into launching our Spoon Cafe's big event very soon. So this is amazing that we can have a meeting together and what we can support. I know we are Spoon Cambodia is so small, but at least we can start it together. Yeah.
Okay. We come to see you soon.
Yeah. Yes, I hope so. Yeah. Welcome everyone.
Regarding the group, do you want me to create a group on WhatsApp for Cambodian members, or do you prefer doing it by yourself, maybe with other means? I understand that you like Facebook quite a lot as well.
Do you prefer the Facebook or Telegrams?
I would say Telegram. No, Telegram. We can.
Telegram, yeah, Telegram. But can Miss Sophie join Telegram from Vietnam? No.
Well, I don't have an account yet, but I can. Well, I have accounts on so many apps now.
Well,
Telegram.
Maybe Soti, you can start, or you know, Sopani will start, and then yeah.
Sopani will be the host.
Yes, that's it.
Yes.
The group. Okay.
Yes, so I will try with Rino and Bong Soti first, and then you can know from Martin and maybe Christine also, so we can meet together.
Yeah, I will send my number here, so that can you take note, because I'm not good in the those online.
Okay, great. It's already 5, so I think that we should close the session now. Thank you again for sharing. I hope that each of you found some answers to their question. And well, we are running out of time, but again, if you are interested in more sessions like this one, we are happy to facilitate. Just let us know. And well, if you feel that you don't need us, please don't hesitate to organize by yourself as well. It works both ways for us. So the only thing that I wanted to tell you is that I wish you a very nice evening. And I again remind you that tomorrow we are having a workshop for trainers on green skills in tourism and hospitality. So if you think that there are still some people in your team that would be interested, please don't hesitate to register them. I will make a last check on registration tomorrow morning, so you can still register them until 10 or 11 tomorrow AM.
Not sure on my side, to be honest. I planned it, but this is the first day of opening. So I mean, you know, we will be busy. I don't think anybody would be able to join. I'm sorry, but yeah, you know, this is the first day. So okay, let's start the school. This is what we wait for 9 months. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, but
I don't. Yeah.
If you see that, if there is a change, well, a good change, of course, let us know. And yeah, well, if you see anyone who is interested, it can be also, well, maybe someone in your support staff who might be less busy with students. Again, please encourage them to join us. Okay, well then, I think that's high time to finish and to let you go back to your busy life. And again, I really hope that we can see many of you tomorrow. And well, anyway, we keep in touch. You know that I'm always just one email away. So if you have anything to ask, please contact me.
Will do. Thank you, Ms. Sophie, for coordinating. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Everyone for your participation.
Yeah. Well,
bye.
Thank you. Bye. See you tomorrow.
Talk to you soon, everyone.
Bye bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Yes.